Bright Brigid blessings. Bright Brigid blessings. Bright Brigid blessings. Welcome to Brigid Healing Meditations. This is Selena Fox. I'm Senior Minister at Circle Sanctuary, and I'm coming to you live on this YouTube channel from a home in rural Wisconsin, not too far from Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve near Barneveld. And I'd like to give thanks to our neighbors who happen to have true broadband, making it possible for me to live stream this workshop with you. So thank you, Anne and Michelle. And thanks to Dree for coordinating this festival, to Bob, who is doing the broadcasting for the festival, to Casey, who is creating the Zoom and assisting in other ways with this festival. I give thanks to all the presenters and everybody who's been helping with this festival. And I give thanks to all of you watching live, and to all of you who watch later, and to those of you who will do both. So for this workshop, if you are able, I invite you to get a candle to use in a short while. And if possible, have a bowl of water that you can also use in this workshop. Now, if you happen to have some kind of Brigid image, you're also welcome to have that available, but that's not required. And the other thing that you may find helpful is to have some type of journal, so that as we do the various meditations and I share some approaches, you may want to note down guidance you receive and make notes about the different types of meditations we will be doing. We are gathered here from many places, from across the US and other countries, and this is our very first Imbolc festival online. And we have now, with this festival, done the full sequence of online festivals. And I'm so thankful to everybody who has been part of the Circle Sanctuary community. A shout out to all you members and ministers in training and other staff. And a thanks to everybody who networks with us and supporting us during this time of problem solving. So we will have a chance to work on several types of healing meditations. There is healing self, healing others. And when we do the healing others part, if you want to note them in the thread, use first names only or just initials. People can be in a lot of different places regarding how visible they want to make their name in social media. So there will be an opportunity for you to put comments in the stream if you wish, but you don't have to do that. You can actually speak out names and do chants that I'll be sharing wherever you may be. I'd like you to begin with me by envisioning us as part of a great circle of community at this Imbolc time. And I will be casting a circle with this Brigid's cross. Yes, I know they're used to bless homes and they're usually above doorways and windows, but I like using Brigid crosses as wands as well. the solar cross representing Brigid as goddess of the sun and healing light. So the words are simple: circle of Brigid power, circle of Brigid light, circle of Brigid healing, circle of Brigid bright. And I invite you to join in envisioning all of us, wherever we may be, watching live, as well as those who will watch later, being part of a great circle of Brigid healing. Circle of Brigid power, circle of Brigid light, circle of Brigid healing, circle of Brigid bright, circle of Brigid power, circle of Brigid light, circle of Brigid healing, circle of Brigid bright, circle of Brigid power, circle of Brigid light, circle of Brigid healing, circle of Brigid bright. Bright, Brigid blessings. Bright, Brigid blessings. Bright, Brigid blessings. We are going to explore healing meditations with Brigid in 3 of her forms. Brigid of sacred fire, the sun, energy, flame. Brigid of sacred water and waters, holy wells, sacred springs, and for those of you who are able to physically have a bowl of water, you have your own Brigid holy water place right available to do healing work. And then Brigid of spirit, the Brigid that's indwelling, the Brigid that connects us, not only with those we know, but that larger realm of people and beings who've worked with Brigid across the ages, across cultures. Yes, Brigid, also known as Brigid, Brigantia, and by some other variations of her name, is rooted in Celtic realms, but she's one of those goddesses who's become international, multicultural, multilingual, and interreligious. So I invite all of you to join me on this healing meditation journey with her. I invite you now to kindle a candle. And if you don't have a candle present, you can imagine you have a candle before you. Take some deep, slow breaths. And feel her in the flame, in the light, in the connection that we have with each other, working with this sacred form of Brigid. One way to do a healing meditation is through chanting. I wrote this chant many years ago, and the chants that I share in this workshop are ones I've created over the years. Brigid of the sacred flame, heal us as we call your name. Brigid, Brigid, Brigid of the sacred flame, heal us as we call your name. Brigid, 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 Brigid of the sacred flame, heal us as we call your name. Brigid, Brigid. And if you want to add melody, I invite you to join in with me wherever you may be. Brigid of the sacred flame, heal us as we call your name. Brigid, 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 Brigid of the sacred flame, heal us as we call your name. Brigid, 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 Brigid of the sacred flame, heal us as we call your name. Brigid, Brigid, Brigid. Right, Brigid blessings. So chanting is a powerful way of moving energy. And one of the wonderful things about doing a chant, whether it's a chant you learn from others or one that you adapt from a chant you've learned or your own chant, is that you resonate through chanting. And that itself can bring healing, not only to your body, to your breath and mind, to your vitality, to your feelings, to your soul, to your interconnectedness with all that is. And I invite you to take a few moments now. And as you take some deep breaths, let's do what I call a wellness assessment of self. Focus on your body. And just be aware of how that is for you. And now focus on your thoughts. Focus on sensing your vitality. How energized do you feel right now? Focus a few moments on your emotions. And then connect with soul, your inner self, the spirit within, and get a sense of that. I'm going to guide you in a self-healing meditation. We connect with Brigid of land and the physical realm. So in the next few moments of quiet, get in touch with your body by tensing your muscles and releasing. Feel your connection with land beneath you, whether you're indoors or outdoors. Just feel that connection and then tense your body and release. Do it again. Tense your body and release. Brigid of the land can be a very powerful way of being centered, helping us ground and center. One more time, feeling the land flowing up through your feet, through your whole body, tensing and releasing. And now letting the healing power of land flow up and bring you a sense of being well. we focus on our breath, Brigid of air, of inspiration, of learning and thoughts. So as we take a breath in and breathe out, breathe in the healing magic of Brigid's wisdom. And as we breathe out, dispel what you don't need to have with you right now. A simple thing of breathing with intention, with rhythm, and deep breaths coming from deep within. And the exhale is as important as the inhale. That itself can be therapeutic in a variety of contexts. We're going to work with Brigid of the Fire, but as our own inner power. And as you take your candle up, feel Brigid of the flame flowing into you, vitalizing you, renewing you, energizing you. Get fired up. Feel alive and full of the fiery energy of life force. And now for emotions. Taking up water or imagining you have water. Anointing yourself. Feeling the water cleansing. Cleansing your emotions. And then just be one with the water, Brigid's holy well. Be well at Brigid's well. And now we connect with Brigid, with our soul. And one of the forms of her name is Brigid. And I invite you to speak or whisper or sing her name and resonate that within your being for cleansing and repatterning your deepmost self. Breathe, 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 breathe. Experience yourself glowing with a radiant light, the light of spirit, light that is bright. So be it. And now I invite you to do a wellness check-in again. Few moments checking your body. Notice any difference? Checking your thoughts. your stamina, your vitality, your feelings, your connection with deep self. We worked with Brigid in 5 elements. Was one of those elements more powerful for you as you worked with this in a cleansing, healing way? If so, make a note of it. Were they all about the same? If so, make a note of that. Was there any that you found difficult? Well, good to make a note of that. And what to do with that understanding after this workshop is over. You may want to explore this at your own rhythm in your own way as a way of working with the pinnacle of wellness and Brigid. Yes, she is connected with each of the elements, most closely connected with fire and water. Her sacred sites that date back to ancient times, sometimes were places where a fire was kindled perpetually and tended during the time it was an active site, and sometimes it was a healing spring or well or pond or lake or river. But she also had and has connections with land and earth, with breath and inspiration, and with spirit. So, another way to connect with Brigid at this Imbolc time and throughout the year is to invite her to help you with release, with resetting, and renewal. Release, reset, renew. Release, reset, renew. Release, reset, renew. Now, it can be a powerful time to, at Imbolc or at new moon or full moon. And at this Imbolc in 2021, we have full moon going on. So part of self-cleansing is being able to be aware of what parts are working and what parts need some help. Sometimes when people are under a lot of stress, everything needs help. And having more than one technique to work with Brigid for healing, I have found really important. And this also goes for working with other forms of divinity and other forms of healing modalities. It's good to have a variety of approaches. So if you've had a troubled dream, or you've had a hard day at work, or you might be Zooming a whole lot and need to balance screen time with healing time, that you have multiple ways of doing healing. One powerful way for self-healing with Brigid is to connect with your own home and the land where it is located, to honor the space, to feel your connection with the spirit of the land, and to honor Brigid as embodied in your land and in your home. You may want to create a Brigid altar, not only for use at this time of year, but year round. She's a multifaceted goddess. Today we're focusing on healing, but to learn more, there is quite a bit of information up at the Circle Sanctuary website. So you can go under Celebrating the Seasons under Teachings and select Imbolc, and you'll find podcasts and chants and rituals and articles in my Celebrating the Seasons that you may also find helpful. Now I invite you to imagine Brigid of the sacred sun another form of fire, being above you with rays coming down you, all around you and within you. And as you connect with fire as light, sunlight, regardless of whether the sun is that visible where you are right now or not, spend a few moments now and draw the power of Brigid's light into you, imagining the sun as a form of Brigid power. Healing power of Brigid light. Fill me with blessings bright. Healing power of Brigid light. Fill me with blessings bright. Healing power of Brigid light. Fill me with blessings bright. Drawing down the sun, experiencing yourself glowing with the radiance of the sun. Be with that image, be with that feeling in the next few moments of quiet. And as you continue to reflect on yourself glowing with the radiance of Brigid sunlight, invite Brigid to give you a word or a phrase of something specific you can do in your own personal life to bring about healing, well-being. Pay attention to what comes to you and note it in your journal as I play this singing bowl. So be it. Now I invite you to take up water. And this time, as you connect with the water, we call on Brigid of the sacred waters. Touch the water, commune with Brigid and the water. Now, in some places in ancient times, Brigid was connected with healing springs and wells, as she is now, and spas and hot baths. Some say that in Bath, England, that the Romans called the baths of Sol Minerva. The Solas being the indigenous goddess and Minerva being their goddess of wisdom. Well, for those of you who look at pagan divine forms across time and across cultures, know that actually Romans saw Brigid in her various forms is actually connected with Minerva. And you'll see some reproductions in the here and now of Brigantia, where she actually has a spear and a shield. And the Brigantes, who are in the Alps and who are in the southeastern Ireland and parts of England, they got around a lot. Were they all the same tribe? There's scholars are debating that, but essentially, she had an assertive aspect, a warrior aspect. She was not only connected with fire, but the sacred waters. So back in 2013, I created a spoken chant, and we'll do the spoken version here, but I have a Brigid of the Sacred Waters chant that I'll share with you. Celia, one of the bards that works with the Circle Sanctuary community, put melody to this water chant, and you can find it online. And this is Brigid of the Sacred Waters. And so as you work with your water, I invite you to invoke Brigid to be with you as you commune with her in this way for self-care and for healing. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, cleanse us, bless us. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, heal us, renew us. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, guide us, inspire us. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, cleanse us, bless us. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, heal us, renew us. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, guide us, inspire us. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, Brigid of the Sacred Waters, Brigid of the Sacred Waters, Brigid of the Sacred Waters. Be in us, around us, be in us now and in times to come. So be it. And now spend a few moments with the water. And closing your eyes, if you're able to do so where you're at, imagine that you have journeyed to a sacred well of Brigid. Experience yourself before the well. And guise of Brigid takes many forms. I invite you to imagine yourself gazing into the waters of the well, or if you wish, open your eyes and gaze into the water in your bowl. If you do water scrying, see what comes to you as a healing symbol, feeling, message. Or just be with the water and see what emerges in your consciousness. Brigid of the Sacred Waters, Brigid of the Sacred Waters, Brigid of the Sacred Waters. Bring healing guidance, healing guidance, healing guidance. Taking some deep breaths, returning to a more waking state of consciousness. And in your journal, I invite you to put in any impressions, any experiences that you have had as you have connected with Brigid Water. Healing can take very simple forms, a single ceremonial tool, such as a candle or a bowl of water, a chant, even chanting the name, breath. These all can be powerful Brigid healing meditations. It's a good idea if you're going to be doing a self-healing meditation with Brigid that you find a place where you can do that, where you're not likely to be disrupted, and that you attune to Brigid. And as you work with Brigid, you will strengthen your relationship with this sacred form of the divine. She is being honored by people, not only of different pagan traditions, Celtic Christian traditions, but people of many paths and places. Why? She's been around for a long time, she's versatile, and there are still sacred sites from the past and the present. In fact, some water from Brigid Spring is part of what I put into my bowl of water, as well as some water from her well at Kildare, Ireland. But it's not necessarily to have water from a holy place sacred to Brigid, or by working with her in a bowl of water and invoking her and attuning to her, you're blessing the water with Brigid. I would say after this workshop, you have a choice with the water that you have used and your candle. You may want to create a Brigid altar if you don't already have one and put them there. For Imbolc, today is our festival, but I'm of traditions, as are a number of people in the Circle Sanctuary community. We celebrate it multiple days and nights. So a way to continue the healing work and the attunement to Brigid. So what I'd like to do now is share with you healing meditations for others. And there's an old tradition of Brigid holy wells and sacred springs where people go to the sacred site and take a bit of cloth or a ribbon and will tie it on a tree, or at Circle Sanctuary, we have something called Brigid Spring, and we have some shepherd hooks made of iron that we have right by our spring. We'll dip the piece of cloth or ribbon in the Brigid Spring and then tie it on a hoop. So I'm going to show you a hoop, and we're going to be using this again in the planetary healing part. But you'll notice all sorts of ribbons that are here. And this is, I guess, what I call an adaptation of the Clotty Well custom. People would go to Brigid sites and take a bit of their clothing or some other cloth or ribbons and put them at the sacred spring as prayer ribbons. So I invite you to imagine now that you are going to a sacred spring and that you have with you one or more pieces of cloth or ribbons that you are going to dip into the well or spring and then place there for healing for those you know who are in need. And as kind of the, I guess, qualifier here, the work that we do for others in this workshop, in the meditation today, We do according to what's right for them and their own resonance with the divine. So I invite you now, as I play this singing bowl, for you to imagine yourself going to a sacred well, a sacred spring of Brigid. And as you come there, the focus now is doing healing for others, taking a bit of cloth, immersing it in the water, and then finding a place in your visualization where that ribbon, that cloth will be for those in need. And as I play the singing bowl this time, and you envision this, if you wish, you can put the first name of the person or their initials, the first name and last name initial, into the stream for healing for them. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. Brigid of the sacred spring, healing and wellness spring. 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 So be it. Imagine that we are all gathered around a virtual sacred spring. Imagine those strips of cloth, each one representing someone in need. We not only put out our own prayers individually, but us gathered together in Brigid's name. Empower these prayers and send them into the world in the ways that are right for those we've named to receive the healing that we have envisioned. So be it. Third form of doing healing work. This is healing work for planet Earth. And I got this image many years ago, back in 1999, from a priestess of Brigid from California. So thank you, Rowan Fairgrove. And this focuses on Brigid as a healer of planet Earth. May peace prevail on Earth is the message connected with this image of Brigid. And back in 1999, I, along with her and a number of people from the Circle Sanctuary community and network, Dennis was with me and some others, joined together with thousands of other people around the world for the Parliament of the World's Religions in Cape Town, South Africa. And we planted a peace pole, "May peace prevail on earth," written in multiple languages on the sides of the pole. And that tradition happens all around the planet, different languages, but the same phrase. Well, I have Brigid healing the planet right here as an image we can connect with. But I also want to bring my ribbons wreath here and tell you a bit about this. At full moon, I added a small globe. It's a tiny hug-a-planet, and you will see the countries of the world all very colorful there. This healing hoop with all these ribbons was created in the time leading up to the 2015 Parliament of the World's Religions, which was held in Salt Lake City, Utah. And there were a variety of Circle Sanctuary community members that were delegates for the Circle Sanctuary delegation that were there. I want to give thanks to all of you who were there. And we had people at the conference tie these ribbons, each with a wish for planet Earth. So you might call this as kind of a super duper ribbon wreath. I've kept it since that time. Shortly after that conference concluded, the United States signed on to the Paris Accord, and that was an amazing event. In fact, some of these ribbons actually are part of the ribbons brought by the Climate Ribbon Project. And I, along with others, signed ribbons that went not only some for our wreath, but went off to Paris. And I'm happy to report that the US is back working with that climate accord. And we have, as our concluding healing meditation, a meditation for planet Earth. So you can envision the Earth right here, surrounded by all these wonderful healing ribbons, or you might have your own kind of globe. Some of you have seen this from workshops I've done in the past, but I invite you now to envision planet Earth as if you were envisioning it from around the planet, flying around in your spirit body. We send healing to planet Earth, not only the actual planet itself, but the biosphere, all of us, humans and creatures, and plants, all the life forms and ecosystems that are part of our planet Earth. And we ask Brigid to be with us in this visualization. We send healing, that the pandemic be dispelled, that divisiveness be dispelled. And in the USA and in other places, let us find ways to have more equality, liberty, and justice for all. Brigid, bring healing to planet Earth. Brigid, bring healing to planet Earth. Brigid, bring healing to planet Earth. So be it. Brigid of healing light, heal this planet with blessings bright. Imagine the light of Brigid now, here on planet Earth, glowing with the radiant light of love, of peace, of joy, of well-being. Brigid, of healing light, heal this planet with blessings bright. Brigid, of healing light, heal this planet with blessings bright. Brigid, of healing light, bless this planet with blessings bright. Wellness, love, peace, well-being. Brigid wellness above you. Brigid wellness below you. Brigid wellness before you. Brigid wellness behind you. Brigid wellness within you. Brigid wellness around you. Brigid wellness now and in times to come. So be it. Bright Brigid blessings. Thank you all for being part of this debut of Brigid Healing Meditations. And I invite you to continue to work with Brigid Healing Meditations tonight, tomorrow, and in the times to come. And I'll take a look at all the comments that you all have shared. Thank you all for joining us. If you want more information about Brigid and ways to connect with her, you can tune into our podcast. We have a variety of Brigid podcasts and material on the web. I give thanks to all of you who have joined live and later. Brigid, we give thanks. Brigid, we give thanks. Brigid, we give thanks. Brigid, we give thanks. Bright blessings. And happy Imbolc! And all of you in the Southern Hemisphere, happy Lunasa. And to everyone around the world, happy full moon. Thank you.